Hello, everybody. This is Lisa, and today I am ending up my, day work without voice almost. So apologies for that, but I've been having a lot of sessions and a lot of work and a lot of little stress and change of weather and so on, and my voice is a little bit like this, not the usual one. But so welcome to anyone who is watching, who is following, who's going to connect, disconnect, and so on. My name is Lisa. I'm an occupational therapist specialized in Padawan therapy, master degree in autism spectrum disorder, and I work with children with special needs. Basically, my job is Hello, my job is to work with kids with special needs. My job is to, guide the parents, support the parent, and basically all my life I've been working with children of different ages and different difficulties, challenges, etc. Sometimes I am more focusing in oral motor skills, sometimes more in feeding, sometimes in general advices and suggestions. And this project of Chat with Lisa came with the idea of giving my YouTubers, followers, a little bit of, how to say, a little bit of like support online to see if I can be of any help answering your questions or maybe sharing some of the topics that usually I talk with the parents here at Panacea Therapy Center, or I will be discussing with other professionals and so on. We doesn't matter, you will be surprised that doesn't matter that we are in 2024, the amount of mislead information is huge. The amount of professionals who doesn't have no clue idea about autism and about other difficulties, it's big. The amount of therapists who are doing therapy without knowing therapy, it's big. And unfortunately, even though it's sad, we still have a lot of things to do, things to improve. And this is the reason why a little bit I like this, to create this little corner where we can, the parents and the therapists or the educators or anyone basically can talk a little bit, discuss certain topics, and we can, see a little bit what can we do, because we are still living this moment where we don't know what is occupational therapy or when to attend therapy, or we will go to the pediatrician and the pediatrician doesn't even know what's meaning autism. Or for example, I want to share one case that shocks me a lot, but it's a recent one from all the cases that I have in my head. I referred the mom to go to the pediatrician or to check the ears, because the child has basically the child has autism. He's 4 years old, and suddenly he started having these difficulties in the peanut ball. So peanut ball, it's like basically therapeutic ball, but in a shape of a peanut, and you have different sizes and so on. And I use it a lot for vestibular purposes. Now you have to understand that the vestibular system, it's in our ears. So everything that has to be with the balancing, everything that has to be with us feeling good in the space while walking, running, whatever. Hi, hello. Yes, well done to touch this discussion. I will think of them. Of course, Monique, not only you, unfortunately, a lot of parents are not in the right hands sometimes. And what I was telling you, it's about this real case, right? So last week we are having a session, and the kid is the second session. I've been working with him for quite a long, and the kid is in the second session that he is experimenting a huge tantrum and crying and touching the ears and covering the ears when he goes um, on his back laying down. So basically he is on the peanut ball. Instead of being on his tummy, he is at the back, and he is not able to relax, etc. He started to cry, he started to touch the ears, etc. We did one session, we did the second session, and then I said like, okay, I think if the last time that you checked the ears, it's been more than 1 year, because usually it should be in a yearly basis, you should take an appointment and check his ears. In any case, if everything is okay, it's fine. But if there is something going on, it might be the reason why he is suffering and he is covering and touching the ears. So, hi guys, I'm just going to slow down here. I'm an occupational therapist specialized in Padawan therapy, and I work about children with disabilities. So this chat, it's only about that. I'm not going to answer any other questions. And if you have questions regarding difficulties or anything regarding the therapy, please write it down, or you can text me privately. Also, while you're here, I much appreciate your support by subscribing, liking the videos, and sharing them. Thank you. So, as I was saying, so I referred to, basically I told her, listen, it will be great if we check the ears. Today she comes because she sees, she follows me every week. I follow the son every week. And she tells me that the pediatrician decided that it's not a needed, there is no need, that basically there is no need to check the ears. Because she doesn't think that it has to be nothing related. It's probably a habit. And these things, I felt that like after so many years of experience, I manage somehow, not I manage somehow, I manage myself, but I still feel incredibly absurd to believe that there are still pediatricians in this world who will deny or will give their advice to say, listen, you shouldn't have a referral for the hearing test. It's a hearing test, right? We are not asking the pediatrician to do the hearing test. We're not asking the pediatrician to do an extra job. We are just asking for a referral. And the fact that there are still doctors and pediatricians who are not capable to understand what is the problem, they are not capable to check by themselves, and they still give their opinion to say to the mom, listen, I don't think there is a need. No, we will not do it. For me, it's just crazy. I'm sorry. Maybe it is me. Maybe, I don't know. Maybe it's the day, but I find it extremely ridiculous that we still have things like that, because first of all, we should be, when we give advices and when we are talking about certain things, we should be make sure that we know what we are talking about. If you don't know what is meaning autism, don't give advice. If you don't know how they work, if you don't know anything about hearing situation or whatever, please just say, I will refer you because I don't have no clue idea, and it's fine. Or Google it. Open the internet as if you're doing something and Google what does that mean. If you're not sure that the hearing test has something to do with the balance, don't say it. It's fine. I see these kids every single week. I'm not saying that the child has hearing issues or not, but my concern is that I have 2 sessions consecutively that he is complaining in the same spot with the same activity. Something is not okay. And that's my job as occupational therapist, to refer him, to advise the parents and support the parents. So that's the reason why today a little bit the talk, it's a topic about intensive therapy, yes or not, and a little bit about professionalism in general. Because I find it extremely crazy that you still have parents who are in extremely need of advice and guidance. They go for professionals who should be professionals, because to become a pediatrician you have to study quite a lot of years. So at some point you should have more than the basic knowledge, and you still get answers like that. Or for example, I had a mom who at 1 year and a half, she wasn't sure if the child has autism or not, because he was all the time spinning the wheels, or he will be all the time rocking in the chair. She will be Googling, and everything was giving her advices of, listen, it's about autism, it's about this, or blah, blah, blah. She was always checking with the pediatrician, listen, shall I worry? Do I need to get maybe a referral? Shall I do this or that? And everything it's about, it's a habit, don't worry, it will pass. The child will grow out of it. It's a habit. Listen, with our habits, we have to be very extremely careful when we say it's a habit or not. The same when I say tiptoeing, sensory or behavior. The same I say, I'm telling you, vomiting when we are introducing food, behavior or sensory. You have to be sure that you know what you're working on. And if you're not, it's okay. we can refer to someone else. You can say, sorry, this is not my expertise. Papa, mama, I'd advise you to check on Google, to write to a therapist, to, I don't know, whatever. But it's better that than giving your advice of it's a habit, it's something temporarily, it's something that will pass by. When the child is growing, the difficulty remains. And then you continue doing your life, but that kid could be fixed maybe at the age of 1.5, or got better with certain things, and instead of at 4, for example, or at 3. So I always get mad with these things. Um, uh, mad, not in a bad way, but it is important. And that's the reason why I'm also doing these lives. It is not just to promote myself. I don't really need it. I work as an occupational therapist. I am very happy with my clients. I am super thankful for every results that I get, and that's it. But I felt that there is not a lot of things going on online, and there is not a lot of things going on with the advices, or at least free advices, because everything now it's not materialized. And I don't say no, it shouldn't be. Everybody should be working for a fee, and everybody should get a salary. But let's slow down a little bit, and we also have to have and to understand that you have a lot of parents outside there that are misguided, and they don't have a good therapist or a good guide with them to actually push them and to actually make understand what's going on, etc., etc. So yes, let me see one thing. Okay, I'm going to try to answer that. And what can you say about addiction? Well, addiction, it is not depends on what we are talking. Like I said, my expertise it's always about childhood up to the certain age, and with certain difficulties. Addiction, it's a big word, so I don't know exactly which part of addiction you're talking, or what shall we do will be doing. But so if you want to specify a bit, and if I can answer, I will answer, and if not, I am very honest. This is not my expertise. We can check with someone else. So the topic of today, and I will jump then so I can answer your question before I close it. It was intensive therapy, yes or not. I published it in Instagram this morning, and I had some, feedbacks and so on, and I wanted to talk a little bit more about them today. So if those parents who were sharing their opinion, if they're watching us, we can we can discuss a little bit more. So Monique, yes, I will definitely jump now onto your question. Just give me 1 second. You can continue writing. I will read you soon and then answer you. So intensive therapy, yes or not? The reason why I'm asking this question is because you have a lot of parents who will be, you have a lot of parents who will be attending intensive therapy sessions with different professionals, and sometimes they will be questioning if they should go for centers or they should go abroad for this type of intensive therapy. Now, intensive therapy, it's not meaning that you need to go abroad to do it. You can be having for example, your occupational therapist, your speech therapist, or your physiotherapist doing intensive hours during 1 or 2 weeks. So if you are attending therapy once in a week, maybe you would like to increase it 2 hours in daily. So you will have this like intensive therapy week or 2 weeks of doing more than usual. Now, the recent studies are showing, I have parents who had good feedback about it, because definitely they see improvements straight away. And then you have parents who, I will say that they are still saying like, okay, this is nice, but then I have to do it not once in a year. I will have to do it more than once in a year, right? And I think that's the reason and the conclusion that I will arrive. The recent study shows that, that definitely intensive therapy works, and you will have more improvements and faster improvements in a short period of time, rather than, for example, doing one session weekly. Suddenly you do 2 weeks intensive. However, it depends on the kid, depends on the target, right? So you might have you will have benefit, and you will have good positive feedback, but definitely it is not something that you can do once in a year. It's something that you maybe every 2-3 months you have to give your kid an intensive week. But definitely what it does is, imagine that you are going to the gym once in a week, and suddenly you are going to do gym every single day with an amount of different activities, cardio and this and that and that and swimming. Boom, for sure that in a week you will see crazy amount of results, and also you will have different type of benefits in your body. The same works for therapy. I was having different kids with intensive therapies, and we always saw improvement. However, it depends also on the topic that you are targeting. For example, if you are working on feeding, if you are working on potty training, if you are working on the behavior of the kid, certain things can be really achieved in a short period of time. But if we are working on balancing, if we're working on coordination, depends on the difficulty of your kid. This is not going to be achievable in 1 week. You will see the improvement, but it's not going to be, for example, the child doesn't walk and suddenly in 1 week we start walking. Unless if the child already did a previous work before, unfortunately, it's not something that you will see it so much during intensive therapy. But I had a couple of parents who shared a little bit of some feedbacks, and it was very interesting because most of the parents really enjoy intensive therapy. And I just wanted to give a little bit my point of view about it, that it is important to make sure that you know what it is intensive therapy, what are the benefits, and what are the goals of that intensive therapy. Sometimes we will go for intensive therapy, but really and truly it's just to simulate the kid. Well, if it's just to simulate the kid, you might also go once in a week and go to the playground or go to the swimming class, and it's going to be very similar. But if you have a specific target, a specific goal that you would like to achieve, definitely yes, go for it. So now I'm going to, if there is anybody who would like to, pop up on this and talk a little bit, I am more than happy. And I have this mom who's asking, Melissa, please, before you close the topic tonight, please advise me how to discipline an autistic kid and how to manage his breakdowns, not meltdowns, which are different, of course. I mean, kind of that he's watching me like, mommy, I don't want to harm you. And the next second, he was beating me, shouting and harming. He has 3 days in the row from morning when he wake up, he was slapping me. And after we go for all the day, he want to harm himself and us. Nothing was good for him. After those 3 days, he became like normal. So the child has autism or has ADHD, mama? Or both? Have you ever checked if there is a possibility for autism, for ADHD? Well, till okay. So, when they say no, they say they don't have. I always suggest you there are free tests online available for you to check a little bit if your child might be on ADHD or not. The reason why I'm asking you this is because it's very typical in children with autism and ADHD, and mostly in ADHD. But with this good combination between these two, having this lapse of 3 days in a row, having no controlled behavior, so emotional dysregulation, so difficulties with emotions, like you're saying, like he will be smiling, but then he will be hitting, and then etc. And then there is like good 1 week or a month, perfectly okay. So exactly, because most of the time we're happy, we're not aggressive, etc. But then we have this spike and we have like good bad 3 days or 4 days where you're not understanding what's happening to your kid. And this is the reason why I always suggest that we have to check if there is anything extra, because usually autism doesn't, I will say in my experience, obviously based on my experience, in autism these things doesn't happen just naturally because of autism. Okay, it has to be then, or we are having some behavior issues. So that you should target with an ABA therapist. Unfortunately, online, I will not be able to tell you how you have to discipline a kid, because I have to be or there in present, or otherwise I would need to see 13 videos or 13, like him in action to tell you maybe this triggered his behavior or not. And the best professionals who can guide you is an ABA therapist. They will be studying your behavior of the child's behavior, and they will be seeing if there is anything triggering. Now, just to let you know, and a little bit of hints, behavior it's always triggered by a reason. So usually we shouldn't have this type of feedback. He was okay, 3 days bad, now he's okay, because then it's not a behavior issue. Behavior issue is very consistent. It means that every single time I'm doing something particular, I show this type of behavior. And you have to make sure that this is what I wanted to tell you, that the behavior is always kind of controlled being uncontrolled. So you shouldn't have this type of feedback of my kid is misbehaving, but the next week he's a saint, because we will have always more or less a repetitive behavior going on. When it's like this and we have like spikes and you are not capable to control the kid, and obviously we're talking about shouting, we're talking about hitting, we're talking about pushing and so on, we are leveling up to a very, very, very high level, I will say, of behavior. I will definitely suggest you that if it's out of control, check with a behavior therapist. Check with the behavior therapist and try to understand what could trigger. Sometimes what I do is, if it's something that it's out of nowhere, so I'm having a good day with the kid, I'm having a good session, and suddenly out of nowhere the kid is hitting, which doesn't happen because I always try to observe the kid as much as possible. And also you have to understand that we are working in a 1 hour therapy where the child is controlled for during 1 hour. You are targeting your kid at home. He has plenty of hours, he feels safe, he feels comfortable, and normally this behavior will happen. But we always try to provide proprioceptive input, meaning pressure, yes, I'll answer you. So, pressure, proprioceptive, hands, for example, placing the hands together and pressing. These type of interventions, they are a possible sensory strategies that we can be using sometimes, but it always depends on the kid and on the situation. Yes, I mean, when he is waking up, slapping your face, for sure, that has to be something that he is not regulating, maybe the way of communicating. So he is, how to tell you, he is triggering the fact that he wants you awake in that moment, and he discover, or he's looking for this type of reaction from your end, and obviously he's going for this type of input. Definitely this, it's not something that I can be advising you online, because you will have to check with a behavior therapist, because this is obviously is becoming dangerous, and definitely you need to find a strategy to redirect this behavior. So if this is something that is happening because this is the way how he learned, that actually for him it's kind of okay-ish to wake up mama in this way, we have to teach him a strategy to say this is not okay. But unfortunately, I'm not going to be the person that can advise you right now with strategies that can be helpful, because I'm telling you, for every single behavior, you need to have a proper analysis in order for you to target it from the beginning. Otherwise, you will spend hours and money on guessing around with therapists without not understanding why the child is doing what he's doing. So you have to make sure that the behavior needs to be recorded, or maybe with a, I don't know, with a camera in your room, so you can show this to a therapist so we can check why he's doing what he's doing. This is what I'm saying. Like, if he is kissing you and smiling and everything, and then one day he's waking you up like this, like I'm telling you, there is something that must be triggering, or emotionally we are very unstable, which this is the reason why I picked up before the possibility with ADHD, because this is happening. Sometimes we will have a nightmare or just a way of feeling, and we will go for certain behaviors that are not justifying, you know. But there is a tiny line between ADHD and behavior difficulties. That is the reason why I'm telling you that this, you should record it. You should check for a behavior therapist and target this with a behavior therapist, because definitely if it's not happening every single time and you have your good days and bad days, probably there is a reason, still a reason why we have these bad days and good days. We all have good days and bad days, but obviously it is not justifying that you can wake up someone slapping the face and stuff like that. So definitely, unfortunately, behavior and feeding, it's the two topics that are very extremely difficult to explain and extremely difficult to target, because it's a constant input. You cannot discipline. It's not just like handwriting or let me teach you how to throw or kick a ball. It is your discipline. Your behavior as a mom or as a father needs to be 24/7 for a very long period of time, so the kid gets like, oops, okay, this is what I can do, this is what I cannot do, and the reason why he's doing or she's doing, we have to know and show, and know how to show this to the kid. And this is the reason why I'm telling you that this is not something you will be hearing. You will be here, we will be able to meet, and maybe I could see it or whatever, and I could say, listen, let's work on this, on that, etc. But on in distance, it will be totally not professional from my end to start telling you, listen, put some pressure on his hands, or maybe make sure that he goes on a trampoline in the morning. It doesn't make any sense, you know. What you can do is that in the moment that you wake up and you see him slapping your face, whatever, definitely grab his hands, count till 10, relax, a big hug, etc., etc. So then you stop from that behavior happening, okay? Because like I'm telling you, pressure, proprioceptive and slash pressure helps to switch the behavior, or what triggered the behavior in the moment, okay? So that's what I would advise you to do. Then, like I'm saying, the best what I will do and what I see possible, it's an ABA therapist. I don't know if you ever contacted them. I don't know if you get in touch with any, but definitely I will be. Unfortunately, it happens to a lot of parents, mamas with boys, papas with girls. It happens a lot that the kids have this I don't know, I don't know, I will say like inner connection, that the boys will kind of feel okay with the mom to behave how they want, and the girls will be more sensitive with papas. But it's never the opposite, sorry. It will never be a boy with papa and a girl with mama, you know. At least not that often. And I'm telling you that it happens a lot, even for the girls, to display behavior. It's most of the time towards the mother than the father. Maybe because we spend more time with them, maybe it's from the link from the beginning, maybe there is like, you know, a connection going on emotionally, but it's very, very often the mom who suffers, unfortunately, from, especially when we have behavior difficulties, right? Okay, you're very welcome. You're very, very welcome. Exactly. Look, you don't have to go for ABA therapy or whatever, but maybe you can talk with an ABA therapist, just a consultation to see what can be done, like maybe some approach, maybe some strategies, maybe a little bit of a hint what can be done. Because, like I'm telling you, they have protocols, guidance for each and single behavior, so I'm pretty sure that this will be the best. That he died. That's very good. That's very good that that you are firm with him from the beginning, that he listened to you. But still, it's when we are a little bit still, when we have difficulties with behavior, unfortunately, these things still happens. So good luck. I hope that this is going to be easy on you and it's going to be better. If I find anything that can be helpful, I will definitely share with you in another video or in my social media or whatever, okay? So definitely if I hear from anything that can be helpful, I will do. You are very welcome. Thank you very much for everyone who was watching, who was interacting, and again, I will be seeing you next Wednesday. Every Wednesday I connect around 7:30 p.m. Europe time to talk a little bit about different topics. Today was a little bit about my always I encourage my parents, educators, etc. Please be careful what you suggest and be careful with your advices. This is extremely important. And I will be seeing you in the next video. If you uh yes, very good. I'm very happy. I'm very happy to hear that. If you have any questions, you can always write me in private and I can discuss them next week. In the meantime, have a good evening, okay? And I will see you next week. Thank you for watching. Bye bye.